Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm back with another robot vacuum cleaner. This time it's from Narwal, the Narwal Flow. And the package is too big for any studio table, whatever. So let's jump right into it and get into the unboxing. So let's go!
And that's the box. You immediately are greeted with some manuals and the side brushes that come detached from the vacuum. You can see here clearly labeled right, left, so easy to attach, but more to that later. The thing itself packed quite good, and here you can see the Flow in all its glory. Friendly reminder to remove all safety stickers and such before using it for the first time. It comes with a cleaning agent and replacement dust bags. Unfortunately, that's not always given, so it's definitely worth mentioning. At top you've got those two canisters, one for the clean water, one of the dirt water. In the front you've got the back, you've got the dust bag, and you can also see it's well sealed with a rubber gasket. And here we are done. And that's the robot. Let's take a closer look under the hood. And here you can see the side brushes get attached. They snap in with a satisfying click and then stay firmly there. And here we have the star of the show, the Narwal Flow Wash Track Mop. First, we have the really thick and highly absorbent mop, which is constantly rotating via these rollers when needed. It is then supplied with warm water via 16 nozzles on the inside and scraped off inside of the robot. So I will show you that again later. So let's move on and to the roller brush, which again promises that you don't have to cut hair out of the brush anymore, but it's basically it for the underside. So what here we have the easily accessible dust containers. Spare parts are also included, which is very practical, and as you can see, it's super easy to replace. Then we have the basic controls in the middle of the robot. There's the power button, the return to home button, and the front camera. It connects to your home Wi-Fi, and the Narwal app is your complete command center. It's really intuitive, even if you're not super tech savvy. But let's finally clean something with our little robot friend. I started the dry test and gave it a little couscous to suck up, and what can I say, it mastered the task with ease. You can also hear clearly how it dynamically adjusts its suction power to the situation. It's relatively quiet during normal suction, but where it detects heavy soiling, we got to hear the full 22,000 PA of suction power. And then I let it wipe a little damp, and here we can see the side extending mop working its way to the edge with what feels like millimeter precision, so really like that concept. But let's use that as our cue to really mess up our floor. So let's start with a little mustard accident, and what can I say? The Flow literally flies or flows over the stains and wipes until there's no trace left to be seen. So let's move on to a high level of difficulty. Coffee capsules, moist granulars that may crumble into the cracks into the floor and are also, wet of course. But even here it all looked far too easy, so let's really escalate things and spread thick drinking chocolate around. But even here he showed no weakness whatsoever, and several cleaning processes later he left everything spotless and super clean. But so many extreme cases not only emptied our freshwater tank but also generated a lot of dirt water, so just take a look at that.
That's a lot of dirt water, my friends.
The cool thing is it doesn't stop until everything's clean. If its tank fill up, it just heads back to the station and empties, does a quick self-clean and jumps right back into the action. And you can even check all of that in the app, which is honestly pretty cool. But let's get back to clean up some ketchup. Think that ruins the robot? Nope, it cleans itself during the run and gets an 80-degree deep wash back in the base, leaving the mop spotless. And the dust bag even lasts for 120 days, so months of cleaning with no effort. Pretty awesome. And this is what the mop looks like after this ketchup mustard treatment. I know it's hard to believe, but that's really how it looked like. And here you can also clearly see the 16 nozzles mentioned earlier, which supply the thick mop with warm water during the cleaning process. But what about carpets? I hear someone ask. Of course, they're no problem either. Here I spilled some hot chocolate powder or cocoa, and depending on where you live, on both our laminate flooring and this light colored carpet. And again, I have only good things to report. Here too, the vacuum dynamically adjusts its suction power, and the 12 Newton downward pressure combined with the already mentioned 22,000 PA of suction power sucks even the smallest grains of cocoa out of the light-colored carpet. And if you're worried that the vacuuming will spread all the dirt around the carpet we just mopped from the floor, I can assure you the mop is reliably lifted as soon as a carpet is detected. And you can even see that our mop still has traces of ketchup and mustard on the edge, but fortunately none of it ended up on our carpet. This is thanks to the truly reliable lifting and lowering of the mop. And then I think only the twin AI dodge obstacle avoidance is missing. And what's that, you ask? That's the fancy name for the obstacle avoidance system of the Narwal. That is powered by a dual RGB camera array at the front of the device you see all the time in this video. But thanks to that we can recognize over 200 obstacles, and they can be even smaller than 1 centimeter. And to be honest, I'm a little bit tired of those staged experiments, and they in the past always worked. So I just decided to let it run free in our office and didn't really make clear that nothing is in the way. So our obstacle course today is just our office, and what should I say, it just managed that task without any problems. And to top it all off, if it finds an obstacle, you will see that in the app, in your floor plan, and even get an image of that obstacle. So you can review it afterwards in the cleaning report I showed you earlier, and you will see what kind of obstacle was the reason why it didn't clean there or didn't go there, so what was lying on the floor. And in our case, it really avoided every obstacle there was and navigated through the complicated tight spaces without any problem at all. So yeah.
And that's about it from my side about the Narwal Flow. And I have to admit, I've seen a lot of robots come and go these days, and that Narwal Flow, that hits different. Not only is the cleaning performance really top notch, but what really impressed me is the self-cleaning ability of that robot. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have that possibility in many robots these days, so it's not a unique selling point out there. Of course, their technology is unique, we get it. But talking about the real life experiences here, and I can tell you the self-cleaning of that robot is one of the best I've seen out there. So normally our robots are really crashed after our tests because that whole mustard ketchup stuff, and long story short, you only see one take in the video, but we of course have to do it over and over again, and that really pays its price normally on those robots, because of course they're not built to suck up a whole bottle of ketchup. This is something that normally not happen in your house. But the Narwal Flow didn't really blink an eye, if you can say so. So the self-cleaning of that mop and that whole unit, unbelievable performance here. So I'm really impressed by that. But what do you guys think about that robot? Do you have any thoughts? Are you planning to getting one? If so, check out the description below. There you find all the information you need. And if you have any more questions about that robot, drop us a comment. And so long, I wish you a beautiful day. And if you liked that video, give it a thumbs up, follow the channel and hit the bell button. And so long, I wish you a beautiful day and bye bye.